Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have a neat Slimline card to share with you today. So I'm starting out using the Kawaii Mushrooms stamp set and VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm stamping it onto Doodlebug's, what's it called? Floral Graph Rainbow Petite Prints paper, and I'm going to fussy cut. So I'm just showing you me doing this a couple of times, and then otherwise I will cut everything else out. Not on camera. So I just use my little EK Success scissors, and I'm just trimming on the line. And what I did was I stamped on one side of the paper, I cut out the whole mushroom, and then the other side of the paper, the brighter side, I stamped the mushroom again and just cut out the mushroom top for that. So, it will have like contrasting mushrooms. So I was going for kind of like a rainbow mushroom look is what I'm doing. So there I am, I'm cutting out the top for this now. So this is really easy. It just takes a while, but it's very simple. It's a simple, card making tip. Now I'm going to be using a bunch more Jaded Blossom products, but I'm just sort of showing you what I started out with. So I went ahead and I stamped out all these mushrooms and then cut them all out, basically is what I did. So, you just want to take your time, get a really good cut in there. And then, it'll make your card look neater in the end. So there are the two pieces. So that's what it's going to look like. So then what I do is I take my Memento Tuxedo Black marker and I run it around the edge of it, just so the white core doesn't show. It just makes it look like you cut it perfectly out, even if you didn't. So that's my little trick. I can't remember who I learned that from, but I definitely learned it watching YouTube videos. So I'm basically coloring the edges of this paper, and then there you go. So here I am. I'm going to put my mushrooms together. I did use Doodlebug's Dot Grid Daisy Stripe, their Floral Graph, and their Gingham Linen in the Rainbow Petite Prints. Those are the 6-inch pads. Just so you know where I got the paper from. There we are. So I'm sticking them together with my art glitter glue. And I do weight it down with acrylic blocks. So there we go. So I'm just putting these all together for you. So, easy stuff. And like I said, weighting it down just to make sure it sticks really well for when I put my card together later in the video. So I'm using my Slimline card dies from Jaded Blossom. So I went ahead and I cut out the scalloped pattern paper. That is Fairy Garden from Doodlebug in the 12-inch paper line. And then that cloud paper is from Doodlebug's Special Delivery 12-inch pad. So what I did was I'm taking this little door, kind of this little door shape, and I'm cutting it out 3 times on this paper. So it gives me sort of an area to, sort of put my little mushrooms in. So they can be peeping out of these windows is what I was going for. So all my die cutting today was done with my Gemini machine. And I did use Easy C tape to just hold them in place. It's like a highlighter tape. There we go. So now what I'm doing is I cut out Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock out of that same, using that same rectangle. And I'm going to layer the two together. There we go, and I'll glue them down, like I said, with my art glitter glue. So I'm layering those all down. There we go. And I do weight it down under some acrylic blocks, just so I get it, nice and flat and stuck down well. And then I'm going to line up those little doors, and then I'm going to run it through my Gemini machine again. Just so it's thicker, because I'd like to pop this up. And I like to have it a little bit thicker if I'm going to pop it up with some 3M foam tape, which is what I plan to do with this layer. So I went ahead and I cut out, using that border layer that came in the Slimline dies, I cut out a piece of grasshopper cardstock from Doodlebug. It's it has some texture to it. So I cut a green hill that I'm going to apply behind it. So now I'm taking a piece of Hawaiian Shores paper tray ink cardstock. And I cut it out at 8.5 by 7 1/8 and scored it at 3 9/16. And then that gives you the perfect size Slimline card for Jaded Blossom Slimline dies. So now I'm going to layer all my paper together. That is just some Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock I'm going to put on the inside, just to give you a nice spot to write. There we go. Like I said, that pattern paper that is on the outside, that's from the Fairy Garden 12-inch pad. So now I'm going to apply this, Green Hill with some ATG tape. And it's going to show behind those little doorways or windows, whatever you want to call them. There we go. And now I'm going to just cover the background of this with some 3M foam tape. So I did cut them down just to get them, in the little small areas. But that's all I'm doing. I'm just sort of getting an even layer of this foam tape all over this whole popped up area, just so it doesn't dip or anything or get, squashed in the mail. It's kind of what I do. Just using my Tim Holtz shears there to, trim them all up. Those are non-stick blades, so that's kind of handy. There we go. And then I'm almost ready to get this going here. I'm just going to cut myself another little sliver. So you'll notice I'm working on my Stampin' Up! Graph paper, the pad as per usual. So now I'm going to line up this piece of paper here. I like the little clouds on this. I thought it was kind of cute. So I'm just going to try and line that up as well as I can, in the center. There we are. There, and now I'm going to be doing some stuff with the mushrooms. So what I did was I pulled out Copic markers in colors that kind of go with the mushrooms. So I used R27 for the red. I used RV55 for the pink, YR07 for the orange, and BG57 for the blue or the teal. But all of those will be listed on my blog. Now, I did use VersaFine Onyx Black ink that is not Copic friendly, so you don't want to touch your marker nibs to it because it will smear. But I was just coloring in these dots, so I was just careful. So there we are. I'm just going to color all those in. And it just adds a little bit more detail to these mushrooms, because this was really simple. I just stamped them on pattern paper and cut them out, right? So no coloring really required. So I thought coloring in the dots on the ones with dots just made it look kind of interesting. So now I'm going to get these mushrooms all in the little windows. So I've got this one peeking out, and I kind of have it in rainbow order. Not perfectly, because I didn't use green per se. I used kind of that aqua color, the kind of teal aqua instead. So I'm using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals and my art glitter glue just to sort of place all of these mushrooms in their little spots. This yellow one is going to kind of overlap the edge of that doorway. There we go. And then I will get all these settled in place. So you notice there was a boo-boo on the back of that one, right? There's two sides to paper, so you don't have to throw it out. So there, we're going to get these all stuck down, and then I will finish up this card quickly. So I really like these Slimline dies from Jaded Blossom. I just think that they're great. And there we go. So that's my last one, my little purple one. I'm just going to add a little Stampin' Up! Dimensional behind that one. So there we go. We got that so far. So now I'm pulling out the Mushroom in My Heart stamp set. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment Holy Shiitake onto, let me see, the onto the Gnome, what are they called? Okay, they're called the Gnome Dies Candy Charm add-ons. So basically what I did was I stamped the little sentiment, and then I cut them out with the Gnome Dies Candy Charm add-ons. So now I'm adding a 1-inch strip of paper from that Fairy Garden. That's from the border paper that, they have one paper that has all borders, and I just cut out a couple of the borders. It's about an inch wide. I'm just adding that to the bottom, and it has some mushrooms on it, which is kind of fun. Then I'm going to add in the sentiment from the Mushroom in My Heart stamp set. It says, "It's your birthday, have fungus." And I'll be stamping that using my Misty, like I just showed you, in Onyx Black ink from VersaFine. So now I went ahead and I cut out the glasses dies from Jaded Blossom in Paper Tray Ink black cardstock. And I'm just going to apply all the smallest glasses. So there's six different small glasses that you can choose from. And because there's 7 mushrooms, I do repeat one of them, but I cut them all out using my Gemini machine. And I'm just using my reverse tweezers to pop those on to each mushroom to make them look like little people, right? So there we go. So kind of fun. And like I said, I will be having 2 sentiments on the front of the card, and those are from the Gnome Candies grid style stamp set. So, or actually there's 1 sentiment from that, and then 1 is from that mushroom and my heart stamp set, but you get the drift. So there we are. I had to trim off the side of that glasses because that one was behind the little doorway. And there we are. So now I'm pulling out my Altenew enamel dots in Essential Black and White, and I'm using the smallest one to add little eyeballs in each pair of glasses, because I just think they're kind of fun. Now, if you don't have these, you know, you could use any black enamel dots, or you could even use Nouveau Crystal drops in black. But I chose to use these just because I had them. So there we go. So I'm using a pen blade just to lift them off the acetate there and put them where I want them. And there we go. So isn't that cute? I just think those are so darn cute. And for this one, I'm going to pop the eyeballs behind the glasses, and then I will stick the glasses down with some art glitter glue. So they'll stick up a little bit, but that doesn't bother me. There we go. I do use my reverse tweezers to kind of hold it in place while they're drying. So here's that Holy Shiitake sentiment. There we go. And both of those little dies are from that Gnome Dies Candy Charm add-ons. There we go. And then that's that sentiment from the Gnome Candies stamp set. And I'm going to pop those up with my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I did glue them flat, glue the white little layers flat with the art glitter glue first, but I'm going to pop up the backing. And you'll notice that that teal paper for the frame of it is the same. It's that Hawaiian Shores Paper Tray Ink cardstock again. Just, you know, bring the color back again. So isn't that cute? I just think it turned out super cute. So now I'm going to add in some big white enamel dots from that same Altenew Enamel Dots Essential Black and White set. And I'm just going to sprinkle them around just for a little added something. And you'll notice that I did add a few Secure White Jelly Roll pen little lines and dashes, kind of highlights on the mushrooms, just to, you know, add a little something to the design. And there we are. So just adding the last couple in place. And you notice I try to, you know, have odd numbers and all that stuff, but that's what I was going for. Isn't that cute? I think it turned out super cute. And now I took some Nouveau Crystal drops in Simply White and a bamboo skewer, and I'm just tapping little dots to the black eyes just to add little highlights in each eye. And you'll have to let this set to dry, but otherwise it works great. It stays on, doesn't go anywhere. I think it's a great little addition, you know, adding the highlights to the eyes. So there we are. And that is that. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and be inspired the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on some of these goodies. And thank you as always for watching my videos. See you soon. Bye everyone.